Great British Crochet Off technical version, where I discuss the technical details of the item that I crocheted for the episode of the Great British Crochet Off that week. A series where I watch an episode of the Great British Bake Off and then crochet something inspired by it. This was what we made for Bread Week this week. So let's go back in time and see how we pulled this together. It is Monday morning. Yesterday I watched our Great British Bake Off for the week. And it was Bread Week. And Bread Week always makes me nervous because I feel like the challenges are going to be like a loaf of bread, and that's not very exciting to crochet. But I got a hit of inspiration about the showstopper where you have to make a 3D bread sculpture, and I've been trying to think of more things to like put on my wall here. And what popped in my head was, if you've watched Kiki's delivery service, the sign that the baker gives to her with like her and Gigi, and it's like her like business sign. I want to make that out of yarn for Shea Yarn. So like a braided bread circle, and then on it will be a little figure of myself crocheting, or like with a crochet hook, and Violet the cat and my dog Daphne all like sitting on it, maybe some flowers, maybe some other decor, I don't know. So we're gonna start by making 3 like wide tubes out of this yarn, because this is the yarn that I use to do bread because it gives me like crusty bread vibes. So we're gonna start with that and braid those into a circle, and then we'll do the decor. So I need to figure out, I'm thinking I'm just to use my 3.75mm hook for this, but I'm gonna play around with it and I'll meet you back here. So it is currently Tuesday morning. I ended up playing with a couple of different stitches, a couple of different hook sizes, and a couple of different amounts of chains, and I've settled on 20 chains, worked in the round with half double crochets. So this is gonna be around the width of the tube. So I'm just gonna work and work and work and work and make 3 really long tubes that look like that. Finished our first little tube for our bread wreath, and it is about 32 inches. God, this is just gonna be a weird one to record. So it's about 32 inches, and I've really lightly stuffed it because I want it to be able to conform to the other pieces when I do the braid. I'm not sure if it's long enough, but I'm gonna make 2 more of them, and then I can always add on length. So I have my 3 beautiful crocheted kielbasa, and now we are going to braid these and pin these. So that's basically how it's gonna look like when it's all sewn together, just without stuffing peeping out. For the like me doll portion, I'm going to be using the pattern that I use for all of the Great British Crochet Off dolls. This is Tasha. I'm not going to include the pattern here. I may include it at a later date just for timing purposes, just because it would be a very involved little part of this tutorial. So if you want the pattern for this doll, let me know and I will put one together. That would be pretty easy for me to do. So yeah, I'm going to grab all the stuff that I need for this, throw it in my bag, and take it to the gym with me. So this is all sewn together. Like I said, I just sewed the end to end. You can kind of see a little bit of a seam, but I'm gonna end up covering that up mostly anyways. This is what I actually spent all day yesterday doing though, is just making a tiny me in her tiny jacket, her tiny little cardigan. So now, today I need to work on the little sign that goes like under the wreath. We need to do a little Violet, and there she is, and a little Daphne, and then I'm gonna figure out if I want to add anything else to the wreath when all that's done. So I made my rectangles for my little sign that's gonna hang underneath the wreath. This is not my best work, but that's what we're gonna be left with at the end of the day. So this is about 30 rows across of single crochets, and then I don't know, like 3.5, 4 inches up. So now I'm going to sandwich them like this and sew them up. I'm putting this in here just so there's, once again, a little structural stability, so everything lays nice and flat. So here it is all sewn up. It's definitely giving gingerbread house biscuity kind of vibes. Again, I don't love this, but that's what I've done, and that's okay. So now we can attach this just by 2 little chains of yarn and maybe like a little bow at the bottom. and we can make our little Daphne and Violet. This is the little Gigi doll that I made to go with the Kiki doll that I had made, like a full-size Kiki doll. And I'm gonna use this as like a loose model for the Violet that I'm gonna make for this wreath. I'm playing around right now. I made a swatch with the gray that I want to use, and I'm playing around with it, brushing it out to see if I can kind of get a long-haired coat going on. I don't know, we'll see. And now let's try and turn this into a dog. Okay, so I basically made the same figure, but I just turned it on its side and elongated the nose. And I added some legs and some speckly spots because she's got speckly spots. And now I'm just trying to figure out placement. And when I figure out placement, I'm gonna figure out if we're doing flowers. So I glued these on with just a little bit of hot glue. For some reason it was important to me that I'd be able to remove them someday. I don't know why. And there's our sign. So I'm gonna make these little yarn balls because it's a Shea yarn wreath, so it needs yarn. So I'm gonna make a couple of these to dot around. So it is Saturday morning, and between last night and this morning I crocheted a bunch of different little flowers. If you guys want these little flower patterns, let me know. I feel like there's so many little flower patterns out there. I don't want to like put out content no one's interested in, but if you want them, let me know. Some little leaves, and we rolled up some little yarn balls, and I used my trusty falling apart hot glue gun to get them onto here, and here is our finished product. So it'll hang somewhere on the wall over here. This place is a little bit of a mess, so we need to clean it up before we record this week's episode. But that is it. This is our project for the week. So I'm gonna go clean this place up and record it and edit it, and it will be posted tomorrow. Let me know if you guys have any questions in case you want to make your own little crocheted Easter bread wreath thing. Have a great day.